Hello everyone, welcome to Parthiva Tech. In this video, we will solve the problem of the day question on Geeks for Geeks for 25th March 2023. The problem statement for today is redundant parenthesis. This problem is based on strings and stacks and has been asked in Oracle interview. Let's now open this problem to solve it. So let's go through and understand the given problem statement. The problem statement says, given a valid expression containing the binary operators like plus, minus, multiplication, division and operands, remove all the redundant parentheses. A set of parentheses is said to be redundant if removing them does not change the value of the expression. In note, it is given the operators like plus and minus have the same priority. Multiplication and division also have the same priority. But multiplication and division have more priority than plus and minus. Okay, so this was the problem statement. So it is saying that we will be given one expression and we have to remove the redundant parenthesis from that given expression. And that expression will contain operands. Operands mean that are variables, that means the letters, and along with that the binary operators like plus, minus, multiplication and division. And it is also said that plus and minus have the same priority, multiplication division have the same priority, but multiplication division have the priority higher than plus and minus. So let's go through the given example. So in the example 1, it is said this one, a into b plus c. So here it is said that this one and even this expression is wrapped in a parenthesis. So here we can remove the outer one, saying that the outermost parentheses are redundant. Because even if you are not having that, it will not impact anything either in the value of the expression or the order of the execution. So that will not have any impact. Let's go through the second example. Second example is a plus b plus c. That means here c is within a bracket, then b plus c is again within a separate bracket, and to this a is added. So the output of this expression will be a plus b plus c. Here we can see that all the brackets are redundant. See here, though we have seen these two examples, but looking at this problem statement, so there can be some more issues which can occur, or some more doubts which can occur related to the problem statement, which has not been explained clearly in this given problem statement, either through the example or the given problem statement. Let's cover few of them and let's try to understand how is the working scenario for those examples. So suppose we have this one, a into b into c minus d, and this we are comparing with another input a into b and this into b into c into d. So here we need to see that though it has not explained anything in this problem statement, but it is saying according to the test cases I have gone through, or that examples I have gone through, the problems which people are facing, which I have gone through. So here I can see that if the expression is containing all the operators with the same priority. See in this second example where a into b into c, then division d is there. So here whether it is multiplication or division, both are having same priority. So that's why the order of execution or the sequence of execution doesn't matter. In that case only all the brackets have been removed. But if you compare it with the first expression, a into b then b into c minus d, here this multiplication and this subtraction operation have different priority. So that's why I think the way the test cases have been written, it is trying to maintain the order of execution if the operators are having different priority. So here c and d are having different priority than minus is having different priority than multiplication. So that's why it is not removing any of the bracket. If we had some extra bracket outside, then we could have easily removed that, but something is within that, so it is not expected to be removed. Those brackets, this problem is not expecting us to remove them. So that's why if you see, the output of this will be this only. But if I change it to this, in these two examples I have just changed this minus to division, then this bracket got removed, because all the expressions, all the operators are of same priority. Okay, so this was one example. Let's go through the second example, which people have asked in the comment section also. So if you see this input statement, this one, I hope it should be visible enough. Let me zoom it a bit. Yeah. So if you see the second example, so here this is the given expression. So the expected output is this one. See here, this outer bracket, before this bracket or after this bracket, we are not having any operator or the operand. So there is no meaning of having this external bracket. So that's why that bracket is removed. But if you are saying that we can remove this bracket as well, and people are expecting that this can be removed, and instead of that one we can write this expression. So here we need to understand that after t minus, this entire expression, entire expression is in the subtraction from the t, whatever the value we have got up to t. So this entire expression is in the minus operation. If you remove this bracket, then it will be simply like t minus u, or the valuation of s by t minus u by v, u by all these things. So here and here also, like in the previous example, since it is containing operators of different priorities, that's why it has not been so that parenthesis within those operations, within this expression, has not been removed. Only the redundant one, that is not having any impact, no meaning at all, only those brackets have been removed. Let's go through another example. If you look at this scenario, a into b, all of this, then here at last only we have e minus b. So here people are expecting that the output should be this one. But this is not the case. Here the same reason, multiplication and this minus operation are having different priorities. If that is the case, then only the outer brackets, if we have something without any relation with the expression, that only are removed. Since we are not having any of them, so the output is exactly the same as the input. We are not removing any bracket. So first this will be executed. So the value of e minus b will be multiplied with d, the value of that will be multiplied with c, the value of that will be multiplied with b, and the value of that will be multiplied with a. But if you look at something, if I change this, instead of e minus b, if we just keep e here, then all the operators here are of the same priority. That means all are the multiplication operation. So that's why the output will be a into b into c into d. Simple. We are removing all the brackets because all the operators are of same priority. I hope all these examples is very clear. So this will help us in understanding given the test cases. The test cases I have been prepared in this, keeping this in mind, whatever I have explained. I hope this is clear. So we'll try to execute all of them when we code this one. So let's go through how to solve this. So the approach we will use in this problem, in this function which is the remove bracket, is to remove the redundant brackets from a mathematical expression. The function takes a string representation of mathematical representation as input, and it is expecting a string with redundant brackets removed. So this is the given here. So we will use several arrays and a stack to keep track of the various components of the expression. The input string is first converted to the array of characters, and the length of the array is stored in the variable n. Then we'll create two arrays like last operator or the next operator to store the last and the next operators before and after each character respectively. These arrays are filled in by iterating through the characters of the input string and storing the last and the next operators as appropriate. Then we will create a stack to keep track of the indices of the opening bracket in the expression. An array of length 256 that we'll call it operator sign, that will be used to store the index of each operator character in the expression. And again we'll create another array of length 256 that we'll call it as operator map that will be used to indicate whether an operator is present or not. The function will then iterate through the characters of the input string. Then we will update operator sign and operator map as appropriate. If an opening bracket is encountered, an index is pushed into the stack. If the closing bracket is encountered, the index of the corresponding opening bracket is popped out from the stack. and the sub expression enclosed within the bracket is examined for redundancy. The redundancy check is performed using several conditions that check whether the current sub expression is surrounded by parentheses, whether there are no operators in the expression, and whether the current sub expression is the entire expression. If the conditions are met, the characters enclosed within the bracket are marked for removal. Then the function will build the resulting expression, a string from the characters that were not marked for removal, and we will simply return that. Okay, so this approach we will follow to solve this one. So just to save the time in typing the solution, I have prepared the solution. Let me just copy it here. So I have tried giving comments against each statement here so that it becomes self-explanatory. So I will go line by line to get the explanation here. So first, what we are doing, first we are converting here the given expression, the input string to an array of the characters using the two-char array method. Then we get the length of the array and create an integer array of length n plus 1 and n plus 1, that will call it as answer, to store the index of the bracket to be removed. Okay, then we initialize the answer array to fill all initialize answer array to all ones using the fill method of the arrays class. Then we create two integer array of length n plus 1, that will call it as last operator and next operator, to store the last operator before each character and the next operator after each character respectively. Then we initialize the last operator with -1. This one here, this one -1 here, so we are initializing the last operator with -1. Then we iterate through the characters in the input array from left to right and update the last operator array with the last operator before each character. So we are iterating through all of this, and we are first initializing to this. Then we are seeing if we encounter any of this operator, then we update the last operator if an operator is found. I hope this much is clear. Then we will do similar thing for next operator. We will initialize it with -1. Then we iterate through the characters in the array. For next operator, we iterate through the characters in the input array from the right to left and update the next operator with the next operator after each character. So first we are iterating through left to right, and this time we are iterating through right to left. So that's why if you are iterating through left to right, then we will get the last operator. If you are iterating through right to left, then we will get the next operator we will encounter first, because we are coming from the right side. So this is the reason for iterating it from the both direction in both those things. Then after that we create a stack, we are calling it as st, to store the index of the opening bracket. Then we create two integer array of length 256, which is called as operator sign and operator map, to store the index of each operator and whether the operator is present or not. So this one I have even written the same thing in comment as well. I hope this is clear. Then we initialize the operator sign with -1. Then we create a character array called operators containing the operators like multiplication, plus, minus and division. Then we iterate through the characters of input array. We are creating this operator and we are iterating through all the characters of input array. Then we iterate through the operators of the operator array and update the operator map and operator sign arrays. We are iterating through this and we are updating both operator map and operator sign array. Then if the current character, if the current character is left bracket, then we push the index into the st stack. If the current character is right bracket, then pop the top index from the st stack and give the indices of the opening and the closing bracket. So we are doing the push and pop operation and we are storing that index, that means starting one and the last one. Then get the next operator after the closing bracket and the last operator before the opening bracket. Then iterate through the operators array and update the operator map array. Then we are iterating through this and we are updating the operator array. Now the time has come to check if the current sub expression is valid or not by checking if it is surrounded by parenthesis. This one. So for that we are initializing a boolean variable which is initially false. Then we will check. Then we will check if the sub expression within the parenthesis is valid or not by checking if it is surrounded by parenthesis. If there are no operators in the expression, if the current sub expression is the entire sub expression, and if the last and the next characters around the sub expression allow it to be removed. Okay, so we are having all this check. Again, I'll tell you, we will check if the current sub expression is valid or not by checking if it is surrounded by the parenthesis, if there are no operators in the expression, if all the things we are doing here, and if the current sub expression is the entire sub expression, and if the last and the character, if the last and the next character around the sub expression allow it to be removed. If the sub expression is valid, then mark the characters for removal by setting the corresponding value is in the answer array to 0. I hope this is clear. This one, if it is valid, then we will mark it to be removed for 0. Then after that, what we'll do, we build the resulting expression string from the characters that were not allowed to that were not marked for removal using the string builder. Then return the resulting expression as the output. So we are checking that. So where the value was 1, so here, so that we are adding to it to the response resulting array, and all other things we are just removing it. You remember initially we had initialized it with 1, all the answer array. Now after that, when we are checking something, some conditions here, then we are marking those indices as 0. So after that we check that if the sub expression is valid, then we mark the character for removal by setting the corresponding value in the answer to 0. Then we are checking here, build the resulting expression and string from the characters that were not marked for removal. So that not marked for removal, that means the value was still 1. So we'll simply append those one and we simply return that. I hope this problem statement, this approach and this algorithm, this coding is I hope this is clear to you. Now let me try compiling this code. Something. Oh, I have copied it in wrong window. Let me just copy it again. Actually it was pointing to C++ window. Okay, let me copy it here. Now let me try compiling this code. So here we can see we have got the correct output, which was one of the input statement. So now we will test for the other input examples what we have seen here. We'll see all of these. So first what we'll do, we'll take this. See, it is here important to understand the problem statement, that what it is being expected. Though, I definitely agree that problem statement or the examples given that one is not that clear. But going through the test cases and all those things, I figured out that this is the problem here. So if I try compiling this one, see, then we are getting output here without any bracket, because here multiplication and division are of the same priority. But if I just change one thing here, instead of C by D, if I do minus here, then since the priorities of multiplication and minus sign has changed, it will give different output. It will give output with the brackets included. See this one. Now none of the brackets have been removed. We will check for one more. Let's check for the last one here. Here, let's go back to this. let me try compiling this. So see, here again multiplication and subtraction have different priority. That's why none of the brackets have been removed. But if I just change it, just change this e into e minus b to e into b, or if I just remove this b, it will simply like a into b into c into d into e. Then let's see what output we get. See, then we get all the we get the output of all the brackets removed. I hope this is clear. That means what is expected from this solution, or the problem statement, what it is trying to say. Let me try submitting the solution. So here you can see that it has covered all the test cases and this problem has been solved successfully. So talking about the time complexity of the given solution, it is in the order of big O of n, where n is the length of the input array. The reason is that the first loop to initialize the last operator array and the second loop to initialize the next operator array, each of them takes big O of n time. Then the loop to check for redundant parentheses iterates through each character in the input string, and each iteration involves constant time operations. Therefore, this loop also takes big O of n time. Then the loop to build the resulting expression takes O of big O of n time, as it iterates through each character in the input string and perform a constant time operation for each character. All other operations in the function, that is initializing the array, performing a stack operation, these involves constant time. All these operations, push, pop, and all this checking all these things, these are involving constant time operations. So they do not depend on the length of the input array. So these are taking constant time. So the overall time complexity of this question is the solution is big O of n only. Okay, so I'll provide the link for this question and even the code, this code in the description box through a link. So please do check that. That's all in this video. Please like, comment and share the video, and please subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.